am trying to take an expansion here and here, although it looks like the blue Protoss TwistedGlass is going to spot my hatchery that I'm trying to sneak down in the corner here. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to cancel that. But I am just about to finish the hatchery back out at my natural expansion again. So if I can manage to hold on to that for long enough, I might be able to get myself back into this game.
Yeah, definitely. One advantage to the double expansion is that normally your opponent, you know, if they find one expansion, they don't think you have another one.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was kind of my hope that, you know, of course I would have loved to get both of them up and running, but hey, if they find one of them, they may not find the other one. So, but just getting this hatchery finished, transferring all the drones that I have left, which was not a lot because I got a lot of drones taken out by that attack because I had to use them to defend with. But it looks like there are a decent amount of Zerglings here moving out. Actually, no, I guess I'm just going to move them around a little bit and kind of see what's going on. But anyways, trying to transfer as many drones out here as I can, just cranking them out because my, as you noted earlier, my income was 0. So despite the fact that I had some extra money lying around, I did not have any more coming in. So as soon as I spent that, as you can see now, I am down to actually right around where I should have been pretty much the whole game if my computer was not freezing. So trying to macro up so that I can keep a steady income and continue to produce units and help you out, because right now this is a one-man show for you, 13.
Yeah, and luckily they're not attacking me, because I think if they would hit me both at this point, with that amount of mortals, they'd be able to take out my stalkers pretty quickly.
Yeah, both players actually have been playing pretty passive for this whole game, although indeed the amount of units they've had when they have attacked has been extremely difficult to deal with. So this has been a much more macro-intensive game rather than a lot of quick pressure with micro-intensive battles. And of course, for me, that has especially been true because I, of course, cannot micro while my computer screen is freezing up. But it looks like Red Satrape is trying to take another expansion on the back of his base where we took down this destructible debris earlier. And of course, you do have an observer overhead, so you're 100% aware of that expansion going down right now.
However, I don't want to move out and take it out just because you're not at the point in this game where you can support my units. So I'm going to hold back. I don't want to expose my units out into the middle of that map.
Yeah, absolutely. Forcing pressure right now would be a bad idea for us because as of right now, I do not have a whole lot to support you right now, as you mentioned. And even if you just sniped that command center and took off, chances are that they would retaliate with something, which means that we would be in bad shape because I would not be able to aid you. But just wanted to note something else really quick. I went for a Greater Spire because Broodlords are amazing, and as 13 mentioned, he thinks that they are overpowered. But they
are invincible. You mean?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but anyways, even you can see they do have a decent amount of anti-air, so these Broodlords may not be as effective as I'm hoping. I'm trying to morph as many in as possible right now, but my income has been completely crippled with them taking out my expansion, so I don't know if I'll be able to have enough out quickly enough to help you, but it looks like those stalkers blinking up into the front, and your Colossi with that extended range immediately going to work on the front of those units and almost taking down that first tank out in the front there that was getting just a little bit too close to your ledge.
Yeah, this is a huge amount of units. My micro is going to be pretty good at this point to take this out.
Yeah, as you can see, the siege tank setting up here, and the Terran player is scanning. He's barely got some of that cliff in range, but of course your units are not over there. Although it looks like he was just scanning there to give the blue Protoss a little bit of vision so that he could blink up.
Gonna need to get some force field down to get those things out of the range of my Colossus. That's one of my favorite strategies to use. Use that force field to push the units back so that the Colossus can use their range to take out the rest of their army.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you can see, that line of force fields forced the blue Protoss player TwistedGlass here to back off for a little bit. And now finally I am actually doing something useful, moving my Broodlords into position here. I've got 6 Broodlords. We'll see if that, with the support of the rest of your army, will be enough to take this army down. We're going to see a big clash here right now. Your Colossi already burning down so many of those infantry units, and the Broodlords now coming into play, going to work on these last few stalkers over here and the siege tanks. Of course, these Thors are very, very strong anti-air units and doing a lot of damage to these Mutalisks, especially with the help of those Stalkers and Marines, but these Broodlords seem to just be picking stuff off left and right. And I just want to take a look at some of the kills here. They do not have a whole lot of kills across them, it looks like, but indeed they are causing some serious damage. Most of the kills, I'm guessing, come from the Broodlings that are fired from the Broodlords, and I don't know if those kills actually count towards the Broodlords themselves or not. but it looks like we were actually able, despite the overwhelming number of units that they had, we were actually able to hold that off somehow.
Yeah, I'm gonna rant real quick just about those broodlords. Obviously I love it when they're on my team, but when I'm going against them, those broodlings, they just get in the way of everything. And if I don't think you can target their hit points right now, but they actually have about the same amount of hit points and the same amount of attack damage as a Zergling. So it's basically just a constant stream of Zerglings coming in from the air, and it's just they just get in the way of everything, and they're just I hate them. I absolutely hate them.
They are indeed annoying to deal with. Fortunately for you, you do have Colossi, so even if they brought those broodlords at you, you would be able to just walk right over them. But it looks like since we got the advantage with that last attack, you're moving out, you're going to put some pressure on the Red Terran Satrape and taking out that command center, forcing him to lift off. But unfortunately, you have Phoenix and Stalkers in range, so that command center going down very quickly. And here come the broodlords trying to do some damage. There are actually 4 Thors over here, though, and those Thors are going to do a lot of damage along with the help of these Marines, and 2 more Thors popping out right now. So deciding that was a bad idea, I'm going to move out of position here and let your Stalkers and Thors go to work. Although over here we do see that there are some more Stalkers coming in from the blue player, and I decided at this point, rather than trying to come from that angle, I'm going to need to move over here behind the protection of your Colossi and Stalkers here.
Yeah, one thing you'll notice that with those broodlords, the broodlings, attract auto target from your opponent's forces. So if they're not microing well, they're just going to start attacking those broodlings, which is exactly what you don't want them to do.
Right, and as you can see, a lot of those Stalkers just going down because they got absolutely swarmed by the small broodlings that pop out. And as 13 mentioned, you can see they do 5 damage, have 30 hit points, so definitely pretty strong, and they are going to GG. So against all odds and losing every economic advantage that I had in the early game, we were able to rally, and 13 held them, both armies, off for just long enough for me to get some broodlords over and aid him in holding that, and then immediately going on the offensive there, taking the game down for the win.
I've been, ranting a lot about those broodlords, and they definitely are pretty powerful, but, it's still beta. I'm sure there's a way to counter them. I just really haven't had enough time to, really sink my teeth into it. But to be honest with you, I hate him at this point, and I've been wanting a nerf every stinking patch, and it's not happening.
Well, that must mean that Blizzard thinks that they are balanced, so I guess you'll just have to figure out a way to deal with them. But anyways,
I will say the Colossus with the broodlords was a pretty nasty combo. We'll have to try that more often.
That was a sweet combo. We'll definitely have to work with that a little bit more often, like you said. Although I will admit there has been a couple games recently where we haven't been able to use such strategies. One that comes to mind, and I just want to mention this real quick because I think it's annoying as garbage, but we played against a team that just literally built nothing but Zerglings and Marines, and they just kept cranking them out. And unfortunately, we did not scout it early enough. We scouted their tech, but we didn't scout the amount of units that they had until it was a little bit too late, so we just could not keep up with their production because we had started a tech pattern, and they had just decided they were going to build 3 or 4 barracks in nothing but Marines and spawning pool in nothing but Zerglings, and we basically just ended up getting overrun. So we didn't get to use any of these cool tech advantages in that game, but they are a lot of fun to play with. Like you said, the new Colossus Broodlord combo, obviously very high-tech units, but a lot of fun to play with.
I recommend you guys use it. GG, Achaia.
GG. Anyways, thanks for watching. This was a great game. We'll see you guys next time.